Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Bhutan. They assume it is complicated, slow, or only for big investors. But here's the truth no one tells you. If you follow the correct legal order, starting a company in Bhutan is actually a structured and predictable process. And the biggest mistake you need to avoid is jumping into registration without understanding the approvals, licensing steps, and the difference between local and foreign-owned businesses. In this video, I'm going to break everything down step by step so you know exactly how to legally start a company in Bhutan in 2026, even if you are starting from zero. You will learn how to choose your business structure, register your company, get approvals, open a bank account, and legally operate without delays or rejection. And stay with me, because in a minute I'll show you the step that most beginners overlook, and that step alone can decide whether your business gets approved quickly or gets stuck for weeks. Let's start from the very beginning. The first thing you need to understand is that company registration in Bhutan is managed mainly by the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Employment, along with related agencies depending on your business type. This means your business is not just registered in one step. It goes through a structured approval system. Now here's where most people make their first mistake. They think registering a company is the first step. But it is not. The real first step is choosing your business structure correctly. In Bhutan, the most common structures include sole proprietorship, partnership, and private limited company. Each one has different legal responsibilities, tax rules, and ownership structures. For example, if Alex wants to start a small cafe in Thimphu, he might choose a sole proprietorship because it is simpler and easier to manage. But if John wants to start a larger tourism company with investors, a private limited company is the better choice because it protects personal assets and allows multiple shareholders. So before anything else, you must decide how big your business will be and how you want it legally structured. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Your choice here affects every step that follows, including tax registration, licensing, and even your ability to expand later. Once your structure is clear, the next step is name reservation and business approval. In Bhutan, you cannot just pick a name and start operating. Your business name must be approved by the relevant authority. The name must be unique, appropriate, and not misleading. For example, if Jake tries to register a company called Royal Bhutan National Bank Services, it will be rejected because it implies government affiliation. So instead, he should choose something like Himalayan Eco Ventures or Druck Digital Solutions, depending on his business type. Now here's the problem most beginners face. They submit only one name and wait for approval. If it gets rejected, they lose time and restart the process. The smarter approach is to prepare multiple name options in advance. Once your name is approved, you move into the documentation stage. This is where many people feel overwhelmed, but I'll simplify it for you. You will need core legal documents that define your business structure. These typically include your company constitution, ownership details, business objectives, and shareholder agreements, if applicable. Think of it like this. These documents are the rulebook of your company. They define who owns what, how decisions are made, and how profits are shared. For example, if Maria and Alex are starting a handicraft export company in Bhutan, they must clearly define who owns what percentage, who manages operations, and what happens if one partner wants to exit the business. Now here's where most people fail. They use generic templates without customizing them. That creates problems later when disputes or expansion plans come up. So always make sure your documents reflect your actual business reality. Once your documents are ready, you submit your application for company registration. This is usually done through the official government process, and your application is reviewed by the relevant authorities. They check your documents, verify your identity, and ensure your business complies with Bhutan's regulations. If everything is correct, your company gets officially registered. But here's the important part. Registration alone does not mean you can start operating immediately in all cases. In a minute, I'll show you the step that many people forget, and that step determines whether your business is fully legal to operate or still incomplete. After registration, the next essential step is obtaining your tax registration number. This is handled by Bhutan's tax authority. Your company must be registered for tax purposes so you can legally generate income, issue invoices, and comply with national tax laws. Without tax registration, your business is not fully operational in a legal sense. For example, if John starts a consulting firm in Paro but does not complete tax registration, he cannot legally invoice clients or report income properly. Now here's something important. Many new entrepreneurs think tax registration is optional in the beginning. That is incorrect. Even if your revenue is low, proper registration is still required. Next comes business licensing, which depends heavily on your industry. Bhutan regulates certain sectors more strictly than others. For example, tourism, import-export, construction, and education businesses often require additional approvals. So if Alex wants to open a trekking company, he may need tourism-related permits in addition to company registration. This is where many delays happen. People assume one registration covers everything. But in reality, each industry has its own compliance requirements. Now let's talk about banking, because this is a critical step. Once your company is registered and your tax number is issued, you can open a corporate bank account in Bhutan. This account is essential for handling all business transactions. Here's a common mistake. Some entrepreneurs use personal bank accounts for business transactions in the early stage. This creates accounting confusion and legal issues later. So always separate business and personal finances from day one. Now let's talk about foreign investors, because this is a very important part of Bhutan's business system. Foreign ownership in Bhutan is regulated, and may require additional approvals depending on the sector. In many cases, foreign investors need government clearance before setting up a company. So if Jake from the US wants to start a tourism business in Bhutan, he may need to go through both company registration and foreign investment approval procedures. Now here's the step most people overlook. Even after registration, tax setup, and licensing, your business comply with ongoing reporting requirements. This includes annual filings, tax submissions, and maintaining proper records. If you ignore compliance, your business can face penalties or even be suspended. So think of registration as step one, but compliance as the system that keeps your business alive long term. Now let's simplify everything into a clear mental flow so it stays easy to remember. First, choose your business structure. Then select and reserve your company name. Next, prepare your legal documents. Then submit your registration application. After approval, obtain your tax registration number. Then apply for industry-specific licenses if needed. Next, open your corporate bank account. Finally, maintain ongoing compliance and reporting. Now let's talk about common mistakes people make when starting a company in Bhutan. The first mistake is choosing the wrong business structure. This affects everything later. The second mistake is underestimating licensing requirements. Different industries have different rules. The third mistake is using incomplete or generic legal documents. And the biggest mistake is ignoring compliance after registration. If you avoid these mistakes, your business setup becomes much smoother and faster. Now let's talk about timeline expectations. In Bhutan, company registration can take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks depending on document accuracy, business type, and approval requirements. But here's the key insight. Most delays are not due to the system itself. They are caused by incomplete applications or missing documents. So preparation is everything. Now let's talk about cost briefly. The cost of starting a company in Bhutan depends on business structure, licensing fees, and administrative charges. Larger or regulated industries may have higher costs due to additional approvals. But the important mindset here is not just minimizing cost, but ensuring correctness and compliance from the start. Now here's your final takeaway. Starting a company in Bhutan is a step-by-step legal process. It is not random, and it is not overly complex if you follow the correct sequence. The key is understanding the order, structure, approval, registration, taxation, licensing, banking, and compliance. If you follow this system, you can start and operate a legal business in Bhutan with confidence and clarity. If you found this guide helpful, like this video, comment with the type of business you want to start, and subscribe for more step-by-step country business guides like this.